Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Outer Realm, the sister show of The Outer Realm, which airs on Wednesday and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You think I'd know that by now after so many years. Anyway, we're broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. So today is a really nice, lighthearted segment, of course, keeping with the month and such. And we welcome back Eira Wulfnothsson. I'm so excited about this one. We'll be talking about animals, consciousness, heaven. Yes, they really do go to heaven. And it's based on her book, Dominicanus. Did I get that right? Please tell me I did, because it's a tongue twister. So we'll have to get Ira to just go ahead and put that out there. But you, your dog, in heaven. And there's nothing I love more, because we were talking before the show, and just done so many dog rescues, and you fall in love with them, and you just are part of your family. They're not pets, they're your family. And it's just, you want to know that when you get there, you're going to be able to see them again. And those of us who are very spiritually linked, we know, I've had pets come back and visit and so on. And then, we have people who just don't see animals as being sentient, even. Like I've seen all kinds of crazy comments. But anyway, let's just not take my word for it. Let's bring on our special guest, Eira. Hello.
Hi, Michelle. Yeah, don't take my word for it either.
I don't know. I'll take yours before I take mine. Believe me. It's just, how are you?
I'm well. I'm happy to be back on your show. I really enjoy your show and our visits. So,
Thank
hey.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Well, of course, you're welcome back anytime. We could talk about
Thank
anything.
you.
Anything. This one's extra. This one's extra. Like I said, we looked at this because we thought it'd be really lighthearted for the month, especially, and so many, people have lost, loved ones and pets included, which are pretty much, your fur children, and it's nice to know, do we get to see them? That rainbow bridge, where does it really go? Right? So,
Yeah. Well, MRIs are now showing that people who lose a pet light up and register in the very same way as people who lose a child. So when people are saying they're grieving, they are truly grieving. It is the same reaction as losing a child. And, we don't like to hear that animals are more important or equal to losing a child.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of it. And God created animals, creatures. We're all creatures. We're creatures. The angels are creatures, and the animals are creatures.
Yes.
God created us all under him. He loved us. I know some people call it the source or the whatever. For me, because I'm Catholic, I'm going to use that terminology. So just bear with me.
Of course.
But he created the animals in the same way he created humans. The same Edenic soil in the Garden of Eden was used to create the animals. He breathed life into the animals. Yes, humans are a sublime and unique and precious creation to God, but he loves his animals too. And in the early translations of the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible, and the Septuagint, the words nefesh, haya are used, and nefesh means soul, and haya means living. So these are the same words used for animals as humans in Genesis 1:30. So, in the oldest book, that is probably the most well-known and revered all over the world, it speaks to animals having a precious soul just as we do. And I can believe that. I couldn't have become Christian or Catholic under a God that did not love animals.
I would agree.
Wouldn't have happened. So I would have never have become Catholic. As some of your viewers or listeners may know, I was an occultist my entire life until age 60. I'm 67 now. And then one day I was just flipped like a switch. They can watch your other podcast. But I wrote a book, Dominicanus, You, Your Dog in Heaven, because I had two very elderly dogs. They died last summer of old age, 15 and 16 years old. And I wrote this book before their deaths. And, I still look back on it when I'm grieving, and I'll pick up that little book. It's very tiny. It only takes an hour to read it. But it reminds me that they'll be there waiting.
Mm.
So I noticed in my life, the dogs were always going down the path before me. They were always guarding and looking out for me. And so I like to think of them in that way, that in their going to heaven, they went down the path before me as usual, and they're there waiting for me when I arrive. And it'll just be like time and space. We're outside of that in this mortal coil when we go to heaven. So they're outside of time and space, and it'll just be a minute. But there is also another law from my past. In my past studies, I attended a profound mystery school before there was anything like the internet. We attended in person. And what was discussed was something called the divine triangle, which is love at the top, that's God, justice, and free will. So that's a whole nother podcast, but love,
We shall do
that,
it.
that force
Yes.
holds all things together. It holds husbands and wives together. It holds parents and children together. It even holds our relationships with animals together. And if you look into the wild, it's expressed in a different way than human love. But love holds packs together, coveys together, flocks together. And if you observe nature closely, you'll see affection between animals. You can't miss it. But so many of us don't look. And I think that when it comes to love, holding everything together, that's sort of God's way of saying, here's how you get to me. We always hear in the scripture, in the Bible, you have to love God. You have to love God. And when I first became Christian, I'm like, well, I don't even know this person. How can I love him, right? I'm real logical or childlike like that.
Mm-hmm.
I did come to fall in love with God. He was a bad ASS in the Old Testament. He was amazing. And I just fell in love with him. And then somebody said, oh, well, Jesus is God. I'm not kidding. I was that ignorant of it because I wasn't raised in a Christian upbringing for generations. No one in my family was Christian.
Yeah.
So love, if you love God, it's going to pull you. It holds all things together. It's going to pull you to heaven. And also it applies on whom you love. If two people love each other, they will be never separated. They will always, like two magnets, be pulled together in this life and the next. And it's also the same with our pets. And because we see on MRIs, also we see this detail. Pets under MRI show love for each other. Same part of their brain lights up as ours. And they also show love for us. We love them and they love us. So as you connect all these data points, these little details that normally we don't put into the same pot and take a look at, the truth is right in front of us. And it's chilling for me. It angers me when I hear people say pets go somewhere else. They go to a different place because they're not human. They can't get into heaven. But I have to remind those people that base it on scripture. In scripture, it says in Psalm 156, let all that draws breath praise the Lord. All that draws breath, think about that. Animals, us. And if someone is praising the Lord, someone knows the Lord, therefore someone loves the Lord. So I look at our animals and I think, what a mysterious thing how they were domesticated overnight, flipped like a switch. Suddenly they pop out 13,000 years ago and they're domesticated. So we know that they have 98% wolf DNA. They descend from wolves. I can't imagine ancient man bringing a wolf into his safe space.
Oh, back then it would have been like a big dire wolf too, like massive.
Right. And people say, well, they
Yeah.
were attracted to the warmth of the fire. Animals don't, they're not attracted to the fire, not that kind of fire.
Yes.
And so it's this huge mystery of how dogs became domesticated. Now, all animals exist in heaven. So if you have a cat that you love or a bird that you love, just put that word in place, the placeholder of dog. But so we wonder, God worked this miracle suddenly and said, okay, here's the animals. And now they're going to be a higher consciousness. Dogs seem to be there for us to help us. And ancient man immediately had this relationship with them. It's like a supernatural thing when they became domesticated. But we also see it in Egypt when the cheetahs were experienced, they had actually cat feline traits as well as canine traits. So their
Mm.
feet, the claws didn't retract like a dog. So there's something going on back there. I don't know, maybe some
Yeah.
Nephilim
Yeah.
technology,
Mm.
something sketchy going on.
Yeah.
But the but
Cheetahs.
the but the canines 13,000 years ago, we find burials all over this continent where these animals were buried as family members with great care, very expensive collars, food. So these were precious animals. So going back to um, let anything with breath praise the Lord. We know they're not praising the Lord in their own language like we speak. They cannot speak. They don't have the power of speech. And I think to myself, they don't have the power of speech. Therefore, perhaps they know the Lord. Perhaps they're in communication with their creator all the time, whereas we are not. And
Telepathy.
well, so I'm getting there.
Sorry, my head
Um,
is. Okay.
so there is something called the Adamic language that in the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve would walk with God, walk with animals, well, the angels did too. I mean, the animals walk with angels. The animals did too. They walked with God, they walked with Adam and Eve, and they walked with the angels, and they all spoke to each other in what's called the Adamic language. Now, within the occult or within alchemy, we call it the language of the birds. It's a universal archetype language composed of symbols, and they're thrown through consciousness. They're thrown mentally, images. And it's a language. For example, if I showed you a picture of an eagle, you would automatically know if you were, hinted at, I give you this. And you put up a picture of an eagle, you'll say, thank you for the strength. Thank you for wishing strength for me. It's like that. That's a very simple kindergarten way of explaining it. But animals, often people will report that they'll get an image of a toy. It just comes into their head or a water bowl. And their dogs are waiting for you to give them water. Their bowl is empty. Or they bring a toy in a minute later. So animals are always throwing us mental images. And yes, telepathy is a real thing. It's it's proven in laboratory
Yeah.
research. We can all say that now without sounding like a nut.
Yes, true. Mhm.
Right. But dogs, they have a lot of emotions. One thing, they're very similar to us, and they bring us a great lesson of unconditional love. So, unconditional love is like one of the greatest forms of love. And animals love us unconditionally. They love us if we're tall or short, fat or skinny, beautiful or a horrendous mess. They love us when we're sick or we're healthy. They love us unconditionally. They even love us when we don't love them. And dogs specifically will fight and die for us. And that's God in a nutshell. That
It's
is unconditional love. That is God in a nutshell. That
it's
is unconditional
loyalty.
love.
Loyalty.
Mhm. They're
Dogs are
loyal
unconditional, loyal more than most people.
and they're pack oriented family. The hierarchy of creation is reflected in their relationships. They also not only are loyal, but they're incapable of lying or betrayal. So when we look at them, they don't speak, but they keep the secrets for God. I think He's in touch with them all the time. And I keep saying that. And I want to connect the dots for you because animals seem to know when it's time to pass on. They'll
Yes.
go into a remote location or they'll start coming to you a little more as if saying goodbye. So let all things that draw breath praise the Lord. And then I said, well, if you praise the Lord, you know the Lord. And if you know the Lord, you love the Lord. I think they're aware at all times. And that is why they weren't given the gift of speech. I think they're the keeper of the secrets. We have to remember always that in the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve fell, they had been given authority in the divine hierarchy of the cosmos. They've been given authority over the animals. And when they fell, the animals fell with them because they were under their authority. The animals were sinless. They still are. And so it's my personal opinion that God made provisions for them, that because they're sinless, they go straight to heaven. They don't have to atone. They don't need redemption. They don't need penance. All the things that we carry and need because we inherited original sin. Again, I'm speaking from a Christian viewpoint. I respect everyone's thoughts and things on that, but I can only speak from what I know. So I'm not here to debate
That's
anybody.
okay. No.
But
Okay.
I think God made provisions for them. I've studied a lot of indigenous cultures, and one of the stories that hit me the most, it was something I experienced, was a person asked a jaguar via the Adamic language or consciousness, and she explained the question was, how can you tear apart your victim? You know, we know you have to eat, but how can you do that? And she said, what happens is the animal's soul leaves before they attack. So, have you ever seen a rabbit or a deer freeze? Before an attack, they freeze. Well, this insinuates that it's just the body that's reacting. The soul has stepped out. And I feel like I experienced this when my dogs passed. I feel like when they were so close to death, I felt their spirit leave. I could feel it. And one of my dog's bodies, it glowed. 3 of us saw it. He just smoothed out and became so peaceful and glowing. And I kind of believe that that makes sense because God talks about or alludes to in scripture often never allow an animal to suffer. So he would make a provision so no animal suffer. They're not inheritors of original sin. They don't need to go through all of that. And I can only imagine that when they were in the Garden of Eden, scripture is very clear that they ate plants. They didn't even eat meat. It was with the fall, when they fell from Kether to Malkuth, when they fell into the dense physical reality that we exist in today. Because Eden was half heaven and half earth, they were all more spirit than matter. And
Wow. Yeah.
so they didn't need to eat meat. Now they do to survive. And so I always think God is good and he made provisions in his creation for them. We are so atypical from the rest of creation. We're so different as human beings. So when I look at animals, there's just so many data points that tell me they were wired to be in service to us, but we are to respect them completely. And again, in scripture, never allow an animal to suffer. And there's a lot of examples in the Old Testament about how to treat the animals. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they sacrifice them. That's a whole nother podcast, the reason why. And it
Yeah.
is logical,
Mhm.
but that was very specific how they would not feel pain when that happened, when they were sacrificed in the Old Testament.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
do you have a question?
No, I've just been putting up comments as you go along, so please
Oh, I'm
continue.
sure that
Yes.
I'm sure you're getting a myriad of opinions.
Oh, no, everybody's right on board. They're getting
Oh,
a lot of you're getting a lot of
mm,
really positive feedback, and Um, just as she loves the idea that animals are the keepers of the secrets,
Yeah.
and they are Wayne says they're very in tune with their own surroundings. A little bit of typo there. And I was just getting to this one. He goes, I've heard that the soul leaves the physical realm moments before the point of death, whether natural, peaceful death or by some other violent encounter.
Yeah.
Um, and they are indeed the protectors. So everybody's on board with everything you're saying. So we're all
Well,
animal lovers in here, clearly.
I'm used to somehow by default offending a lot of people.
Yes, no, not in this chat room.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, that
So
too.
I,
Nope, you are
I
amongst good people here.
yeah. So when I was talking about how they love us unconditionally and would die for us dogs, I want to tell you a story. So one night I was calling all the dogs in, and at the time I was living with someone who had little tiny white Highlander terriers. They're small and, they like to go out and bark and do things. And I had my two pit bulls, the ones that passed away last summer. I have two pit bulls now, but they're different. And I have this big male pit bull that was, I guess you could call him my canine soulmate. He was like so strong and quiet, and he loved everybody, and he never reacted to anything. He was just so quiet and strong and regal. And so I went down calling in all the dogs, and my two pit bulls came in, of course, immediately. Couple of the little terriers came in, but there was one that was missing. And I thought, oh gosh, I better walk down the hill and check at the fence line. So the fence is an old, rickety, kind of half there, half not really barbed wire, but that old chicken fence, that wire fence. And behind it is a woodland and a creek. And I walked down and I could see a little white glow, in the distance down at the fence line, holding perfectly still. And I got a little closer and I'm calling him in. He's not moving. He's not looking at me. I'm right upon him. He's not moving. And my eyes meet not more than 10 feet away from me. I lock eyes with a big mountain lion. She
Oh.
is the most beautiful creature. Now, all this goes through your mind so quickly. She was crouched, facing me with the little dog between us. And she had the most beautiful lime green golden eyes. And she had a black tip on her tail. Her tail must have been about this big around. I mean, she was big.
Mm.
All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, doo-doo. Oh, no.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. I'm thinking, okay, just stand here. And I hear this boom, 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 boom coming down the hill. I mean, I'm feeling the ground vibrating. Who is it? It's my big 130-pound pit bull coming full speed towards that mountain lion and me. Full speed. Boom, 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 boom. And he hits that fence, just hits it. That mountain lion was gone before 1 second even passed. She turned and just went whoosh, right back into the ether of the forest.
Wow.
He had no fear and he was the most mellow, never attacked other animals or dogs, didn't chase deer, didn't chase cats, but he knew. He knew what was happening. And so, with that said, that came at a time in my life where that big cat energy, that's in the chest cage that we all feel here when we need to defend ourselves. I think at some point, often, in creation, God gives animals certain traits, and just being around them, we pick them up via osmosis. There's some sort of courage that we get sometimes from observing animals or just being around them. Because I needed a little courage at that time, speaking of the Adamic language.
Right. Well, I mean, they all animals have their own different frequency, their own
Yeah.
different vibration,
Yeah.
and we ourselves are made up of energy. So when you are
Mhm.
connecting with that and you're melding that together, especially with such a profound experience, I imagine it left some kind of an imprint on your essence for sure.
Sure. For sure. And I remember one time I came home and I had a big hoodie on with a big puffy down jacket. And my dog was like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr," thinking I was an intruder as I walked in the front door. And then I went, "Hey, it's me." And she was ashamed. She got embarrassed. Her
Ooh.
little body wiggling like, "Oh, oh, that's
Oh,
you. I'm so sorry." So animals show this spectrum of emotions that's extraordinary. They
mhm.
grieve. I've seen them grieve.
Me too.
They are embarrassed.
Yeah.
They're happy. They're goofy. There's just
Mhm.
such a range of emotions in them, and I've seen it in deer, wild deer.
Mhm.
I watch animals so much because I'm surrounded by wildlife, but
Yeah.
I've learned so much about life from watching squirrels or
It's true.
pigeons. There's all these lessons woven into the natural world that tell us what is right, what is moral, what is good, and what doesn't work, or what
Mm.
doesn't exist in nature.
Mhm.
But the animals are there's so much to learn from them just about human psychology and human behavior.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you get that old saying how some people actually look like their pets or vice versa. You're just so attuned.
I know.
You see those pictures, you're like, "Oh my god, it really is a thing." You know?
It really is. And then
Yeah.
we were talking about chihuahuas, how they're the most dangerous dogs on the planet compared
Yeah.
to pit bulls. We were talking about pit bulls and we both went, yeah, if a chihuahua ever like grew to the size of a dire wolf, we'd all be, in trouble.
They have big spirits. This big energy.
They do, and they're so silly looking. You look at them and you go, "Oh, come on."
Especially when their
But
eyes kinda go this way and they're looking at you and you're trying to get
uh-huh.
into their field of vision.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had, like I said, I had a chihuahua in my life, and I would have to put him in another room. When the handyman showed up, I mean, he was just vicious, whereas my pit bulls, no problem. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're really mellow.
So where's the stigma there?
Yeah,
Right?
so animals going to heaven. We see animals in heaven all the time. I mean, the entire angelic army showed up on beautiful white horses. I mean, animals are everywhere. And when you pass, you still love those beloved animals that went down the path before you or up the ladder before you. The love that you have for them will pull you to heaven because the love you have for God pulls you to God. It's sort of like God's secret map. It's not that he's
Mm.
a tyrant, with the commandments saying, "Love me, you have to do this with me." He's telling you how to reach him, how to reach heaven. And it also tells us how we will see our pets again in heaven. There's all these typologies that say things without saying them. We talk about allegories and metaphors, and there
Mhm.
is so much that's being said between the lines in our ancient texts and our scripture. It's
Mm.
there because people will say, "No, so and so says that animals don't go to the same place we go to." And I'm like, "Well, how do they know? Did they
There's only
did
one
they
way to
die?"
find out.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Mhm.
they argue to the death about certain things. And all we can do, is apply logic and reason and a little bit of faith. And it's pretty much in front of our faces.
I agree, and I also think that they're a very good judge of character. So, when you
I
have somebody
know.
who doesn't like here's a perfect, like, test, as far as animals being so gifted, if you meet somebody and they don't like animals and vice versa, it speaks volumes with people who just don't like animals. I don't know how you can't not love a little animal that looks at you and, you got these big eyes looking at you because you look into that animal's eyes and it's almost like they allow you to look into their soul.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, Michelle, I keep an eye on those people. If they don't like animals, I'm like getting a bead on them. I'm keeping an eye on them. I don't trust those
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
like,
No,
like, I don't see you.
exactly,
Yeah, I know what
exactly.
you are.
Yes. But
No, that's
it
true.
speaks a lot about a person if you don't have the empathy or the love inside of you to love,
Mhm.
to love an animal. Like, I don't understand, like, I've seen comments online through the years and where they don't like, "Well, animals have no souls." What? Like, my mind just went the hit the wall. It's like, that's
Those people are blind.
mm, yeah.
They're blinded by evil, or maybe they have scars or wounds in their past that shut them off to that aspect of creation. I pray for those people, but I
Mhm.
also keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not a bad idea, I'll tell you. I love how animals are also, so intuitive. There's whatever's going past being passed around right now, sorry, I'm a little bit tongue-tied. There's all kinds of videos out right now where it shows animals rescuing people
Mhm.
before
Yep.
cataclysm or before a
Yeah,
major event happens. Like, how do they know this?
they are prophetic, I'm telling you, but people also, how many times have you well, I don't know. Have you ever had that intuition there's gonna be an earthquake? I mean, there are so many ways. Our body is the most advanced instrument on the planet for detecting our environment and other people. I mean, I've been driving in a car and suddenly I've been overwhelmed with sadness. And then this was back when you listened to the radio, right?
Yeah, yes.
And I turned on the radio and it was right after the tsunami that hit. It had just hit like 5 minutes before. Or I used to tell my secretary in the office, I used to say, there's going to be an earthquake today because I would get vertigo, just a very subtle vertigo. And she'd go, no, there's not. Don't be, how do you know that? And then after a while, she was like, do you feel anything today? Is there going to be an earthquake? But we all have that. We
Mhm,
all sense the barometric pressure dropping. And,
mhm.
for those of you that don't know what that is, it happens before a storm or a freeze. The animals do too. I mean, it's the way God wired us. It's how we're created. But yes, animals know when there is an apocalyptic or cataclysmic natural event coming. They sense it and they all flee the area. I mean, they've
Mhm.
done research with animals with earthquakes where they flee the area, but they also know when you're coming home. How do they know?
Yeah,
If you're
exactly.
coming home at a different time. So people now have ring doorbells and cameras in their house to monitor babies and animals
Mhm.
and they might come home at the oddest time, but the dog is already at the door. The dog
When you
knows. I mean,
Mhm.
is it hearing 10 miles down the street the vehicle? I mean, there's always a logical explanation for all these preternatural events, but personally, I think it's a preternatural sense. I think they just are gifted by God to have these knowing, they're the keepers of the secrets.
I like that, the knowing, because I do, I think so. You'll see clips where I think one that I saw, there's a guy just barbecuing, and his dog went crazy. He was just yanking on him and pulling him out and just throwing himself at the guy. The guy's like, "What's up with you?" And the barbecue exploded. And the dog was trying to get him out of the way, and another one, a tree fell on the car, and the woman was working her way out towards a car, and the dog's
Mhm.
just, like, pushing her back in the house, and you can see, like, "What's wrong with you?" Because these like you
Yeah.
say, these Ring cameras capture everything
Yep.
outside, and all of a sudden, this giant tree limb just falls on the car and crushes the car, and she was just like, "Oh my god." Like,
And I've
literally,
heard
like, wow.
I've heard people who say also we're all created with this. I've heard people say I just got a feeling and suddenly the whole tree falls on the porch and smashes everything. They
Yeah,
would have been killed. They just got
yeah,
the feeling the tree's going to fall like okay, well, we have guardian angels
yes,
and we have all kinds of preternatural unseen realm entities that are there to help and support us. And
yes.
I think they do throw the feeling into us, and we call it a neoma. And it comes a thought that comes with a feeling like, get out of the way.
Mm,
And you do. You don't know why.
yes.
Telepathy's sketchy anyway.
Yeah.
Somebody might get telepathy from, a helpful entity, an angel, and it'll say, your son's going to have an accident today. Take care. And so the woman is like, don't put him on the bus. Don't
Yeah.
let him go out of the house. And then what does he do? He stubs his toe in the living room. So the telepathy, the message was right, but what was the degree and what were the specifics? So a lot
Mm,
of times with telepathy, we have to just go, okay, I'm thinking spatially, where I just take
mm.
everything in, and that's that knowing. That's a
Yeah,
grace.
it is. It is. And, for those of us who might be a little thicker out there, that's why we have animals because they will they will let you know,
And that's what they're
avoid the
for.
area. Yes, yes.
They
And
are
they're
our guardian angels in the flesh and bone in this mortal coil.
and they're amazing with one another. One thing with doing a lot of rescues of said little nasty chihuahuas,
The
if you will,
chihuahuas.
the chihuahuas. I'll tell you, we've had some who have been, either they're coming towards the end of their lives or they were just sick. And we would have one that would just stop breathing. She had congestive heart failure. I revived that dog at least 6 times.
Oh,
And the other dogs would start barking uncontrollably, or we had one who had
uh-huh.
seizures and they would start
Mhm.
barking just to get our attention to come in. And we had one little dog, honestly, I felt so terrible for her because she lived through those 2 dogs, and she wasn't like the matriarch at all, but she would never sleep. She would just sit and watch them at
Yeah.
night to make sure that they had no problems, and when they passed,
Yeah.
it's like I just picked her up and I said, "It's okay, you could sleep now."
Oh
And
gosh,
you
I
know?
could tell you stories about elder wolves in wolf packs, how when they're under attack by another group or a predator, there's not many, it's another group of wolves, they will go to the outside of the pack, these very old, elderly, barely able to keep up. They'll
Mhm.
go to the outside of the pack because they somehow know that they're giving their lives will allow the strong young wolves to fight and protect the young. And it's kind of like, if you look at that, like people, our elderly are so wise and they have so little to lose. They've lived a life that they are the most
Yeah.
dangerous people on the planet when it comes to defending those they love and care for. They will
Oh,
be the
yeah, I'm like, "Bring
heroes.
it."
They
Yeah,
will be the
yeah,
heroes. I
yeah,
remember a story of the fall of Sukhumi in Georgia, not Georgia, America, Georgia. Yeah. The
yeah.
fall of Sukhumi. And what a story. It was 30 old men um, held a bridge so the women and children could get out of the city as it was being invaded. And there was some pretty heinous stuff going on. I won't go into it, but it was,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it was neighbor against neighbor. But these 30 old men, they had nothing to lose. They knew they were going to go down. They knew they were going to die. And I've lived a life and now I'm going to protect life. I've given life, I've lived a life, and now I protect life. And it's like that with these elderly wolves.
Mhm.
They
It's
are
you just
like us, canines. They're so much like
but
us.
in the same respect, when you look at a lion pride where they shun the old lions, like, "Okay, get out there now."
Uh-oh.
I know.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god, the baby.
Yeah, the baby is 100 pounds, 7 months old. Can you
And
hear
s
me?
yes, and how old is said 100-pound
7
baby?
7 months old. His name is Aquinas.
Oh, look at the baby.
Okay, thank you. I knew you were gonna do that, you little devil.
It's true. Ah, we love it. Oh, yeah, see right there. Yay. Um,
He's a
Melissa,
goofball.
I remember when this happened with Melissa. She goes, "My dog woke me up one day with her nose in my face because the toaster in the kitchen was on fire. The smoke
Wow.
alarms hadn't gone off. This is a girl who never jumped on beds, but she knew to wake me up and save the house."
Wow, yeah, there's so many heroic stories. What a beautiful testimony. Thank you so much, Melissa. I love to hear stories like this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it just it happens, you
And
know?
dogs are trained. What do they call the dogs
CNI
that
dogs and
well, the therapy dogs?
the
They're
therapy
trained
dogs, yeah.
to detect an epileptic or
Yes.
seizure coming on. I mean, they just know things and they detect cancer and they detect cadavers out in the wild or drugs or whatever. I mean, my dog's even weirder. So dogs will hunt what you're hunting over a period of time, no training involved. if you're a bird person and you're going out and bird watching, they're going to find birds for you. It's not just
Aw.
hunting, but they're hunting for whatever. Or with my dogs, for 8 years, I was photographing, mapping, and documenting a ceremonial landscape. So there was a lot of telluric currents running. I had to measure and document with a tri-field meter, and it was on a magnetic anomaly, and there was a lot of archaeology. So it's not easy to find the archaeology. So you
Right.
look for the telluric current crossing points, and then usually unseen to you on the first pass, there'll be archaeology. But my dogs would lead me to it. They were dowsing with their bodies. They would
Hmm.
lead me in a direction, and I'd go, "No, we're this way. We're going this way." They'd go, "No," and they would stand in a location. I'd walk up to it. My tri-field would go off, and I'm not talking about ghost hunter tri-field
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
I'm talking about a laboratory Princeton tri-field meter.
Mhm.
But sure enough, it would be a piece of archaeology that was just stunning, and they were finding it by dowsing the land with their bodies, because the body is the most advanced instrument there is.
That's true.
A tri-field or whatever,
Mhm.
new kind of technology, there's nothing like the human body or an animal's body. That's how God created them, us.
Mhm. It's funny you say that. I remember reading an article in the paper of an elderly man years ago, and just by walking over, like the cities, different
Mhm.
townships would hire him because he could walk over graves, like, if they were looking, and he would be able to tell where they were, and
Yeah,
they would dig, and they would find them, and I'd be just like,
yeah.
It's incredible."
It's funny because dowsing rods, people are like, "Are those evil?" or "Do they really
Yes, that's the
work?"
thing.
or whatever. You don't even need rods. You can do it just with your body. You will
Mm,
sense it if you pay attention and you ask the question, "Is there water over here?" and just sort of walk around. Suddenly you'll just get a feeling. This is not with the agency of demons. This is our bodies. This is scientific. This is how God created us.
it's
This
another
is not a
gift.
weird thing. Yeah.
It's a
But
gift.
most people deny it because we used to have to predict the weather with our senses, our graces, but now we have the weather report. We don't even practice it. Or we used to, we have the temperatures thing in our house. We can just turn up the heat. It doesn't matter if it's going to be below freezing tomorrow night.
Mm,
But ancient people had to know these things. And so they were very, very keenly aware of changes in the atmosphere and the weather. And they knew when they were going to have a tsunami or a tornado or a hurricane.
mhm,
The news didn't have to tell them, "Hurricane coming from the Bahamas right at you."
mm.
They knew it.
Just watch the wildlife
Hmm.
as
Well,
well,
certain
right?
people knew it, not everybody,
Yeah,
but they had
yeah.
certain people that would train for that. They also watched the stars. I mean, one family, generation after generation after generation after generation, would focus on only one constellation.
Mm. I believe we were we were all brought here. We were
Mm.
created, we were brought here with everything we needed, and I have no doubt that we're sleepwalking because so many people have forgotten everything that they were blessed with to be able to
Mhm.
survive in
Yep.
this is gonna be a harsh place to live. Everything kills everything for a reason. Usually with animals, it's survival, but
Yeah.
it can be harsh, but you are equipped. You
Mhm.
just forget
Yeah.
that we have it.
Everything
Yes,
you need was
yes,
wired into you.
yes.
It's funny because I don't know. I serve the Lord Jesus Christ through a mandated exorcist, so I do a lot of work in that field. I mean, I don't do the exorcisms, of course. The priest
Yes,
does, but
yes.
we're given everything we need to defend ourselves, both physically and spiritually. I mean, God graces us with, the gift of prophecy. And I'm not talking about like biblical epic prophecy, prophecy knowing that don't go out tomorrow. The weather's going to be terrible, or you're in danger. We get these feelings, and sure enough, it saves our lives. We're gifted with preternatural graces. I mean, like I said, I serve the Lord through this priest, a mandated exorcist, and he's always telling me, so as a Catholic priest, you would never believe this would happen, but preternatural science was a huge part of the Catholic Church.
Mm.
The angelic doctors, the doctors of the church, they were philosophers and scientists, and yet the science of the time was metaphysical and physical. It was one discipline. So I try to stay in that wheelhouse where a lot of people think, well, because you're Christian or you're Catholic, you're going to not speak on things or you're not going to say things. That is not what my mentor tells me. He says,
Mhm.
speak on them because people need to hear. Now, you're not going to get this in the other churches, the Protestants, Baptists, that's not going to be allowed. But I just want to make one point. The Catholic Church is not what you think it is. It's very philosophical and very scientific in the works of, let's say, St. Thomas Aquinas, Augustine. It's fascinating. And me, as an ex-occultist, could not imagine being anything but Catholic. And it has also informed me on the work that I did bringing comfort regarding our pets, the preternatural science of it. It
Mm.
was, you are allowed to look into the book of nature, the book of the sky, the book of the sea, the book of the land, and your answers are there. That's God in motion.
Mm.
It's not new agey. It's not creepy heretical. It's not evil. It just is God's methodologies, principles, and laws. And they're
Mhm.
for all of us.
Why is it I mean, well, you'll know, I'm sure. We are, people are naturally gifted. Some know how to use it, others don't know how to
Mhm.
use it. They forget how to use it, but you are given that ability, and I truly believe that when you have an ability, that it should be in one form or another used for good. Any energy work that I have always done has been used,
Mhm.
properly, and because you pay it forward. But why does the church think back? Oh no, tarot readers. Is it because they're using a tarot or psychic mediums? No,
Yeah.
we frown on that.
It's
Like,
yeah,
what
I
is
get it. I get it. I
Can you
sure
shed
get
light?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
It's ignorance. People don't realize that tarot can be like a firearm
Mhm.
or astrology can be like a
Okay.
firearm.
Okay.
As long as you're not divining and then capturing people to be your prisoner, where you have power and control over them and they are depending on you for that tarot reading or that
Mhm.
astrology reading,
Mhm.
the divining part of it, where you're charging people and they become a prisoner to you. It's when all of this was brought down in the second fall. I'm going to tell you the mythology or anthology, whichever you want to choose to believe.
Mm.
When the fallen angels, led by Azazel and Shamzaza, brought down alchemy, magica, astrology, tarot, root cutting, pharmakeia, they brought it down in a stolen mode because we were not ready for it. We were not supposed to have it, and without God's consent. But they did that in order to make the deal and go into the daughters of men and have children with them. That's where we get the Nephilim. So it's the
Mm.
beginning of the debacle.
Mm.
But all of these things are things of God. These are God's arts and sciences. So there's a stigma attached a lot of times with this is evil, this is with the agency of demons, and yet sometimes it's just a demonstration of God's methodologies, principles, and laws. It's how you use it or what you can't depend on it. You are not your own God, and you will never become your own God. There's only one creator. Now, if you think outside of it by your own free will, that is your choice. You have free will. God gave you free will. It's a part of the divine triangle. He respects free will. If you choose to reject God, as I was born a Luciferian, God respects that, but He's always there the day you want to step off of the left handed path onto the right.
Mm.
He's very elegant. He's not a stalker. He's
Mm.
not going to come after you like, you see evangelicals always like, praise the Lord or go to hell, you're gonna go to hell.
A pretty
It's like
terrifying option.
that
Yeah.
that would not work
Yeah.
on me. I would
Right.
be like, you're weird. No.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
God flipped me like a switch, but I said, I want to know what this is about. And he always answers.
Mm.
So if you can believe in all these other things that people believe in, it's all the same stuff, just with different names.
Mm.
When you look at quantum physics, ultra-dimensional, interdimensional, all these things, it's just the realm of the angels.
Mm.
Okay. So you can pick and choose, however you want to see it. We're all in
Yeah.
agreement. There is a supernatural and preternatural middle plateau realm.
Mm. Yeah, without
So
a doubt.
when people, it's ignorance when people, start judging each other and name calling. It's how you're using it. If you're using it for power and control over other people, you're violating their free will. And that's,
Mm.
God gave us free will, but he also gave us justice because he knew there would be many of us that violated the free will of another. And then
Mhm.
justice kicks in. Some people
Mhm.
know that as karma, but it does come for you.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, I guess it's just a matter of if you're looking at if helping somebody, if somebody asks for your assistance, things like that.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
it's sometimes it's
Well,
depending on the
I
situation, it might be, worth the karma.
and
It's
who
hard
and
to
who
think.
are we to judge anybody, right? We can
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah,
kinda like if you don't wanna know the answer to the question, don't
yeah,
ask.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I love everybody, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
wish that they could have what I experience and know. I wish I could show them what I know in my own experience.
Mm,
But I also respect that we're all so unique. We're almost each one of us a different species, like it's said about the
mm,
angels, which is
yeah,
also unique. And it's not my place to judge. It's not my
mhm,
place to evangelize even.
mhm,
I just crack a window.
yeah, yeah. Well, you could lead the horse to water. You just gotta, give
Right,
him
and
credit to drink.
yeah, stay in your own lane. Stay in your own lane. Hand feed the deer. Be
Mhm,
slow.
mhm,
Don't
mhm.
freak people out.
Yeah. I completely agree. I have to say there's some very gifted people who I've come across in my life who can even read animals to the point of, I
Perfect
find
telepathy.
yeah, I love it,
Yeah,
I love it. I
yeah.
used to have this one little
I
chocolate
believe you.
chihuahua. She was my person, my animal person. They say, "Well, who's your person?" "It was that dog, I'm sure of it." But, I remember sending a photo because I received this reading as a gift to connect with our pets because we had rescues, and sometimes we didn't know what their
Oh,
background was.
right,
Like, we had
right.
no idea what they came from, abuse and, anything like that. Anyway, she just said, "Well, the little brown one in the picture thinks she's the center of the universe," and my answer was, "She's not? Of course she is." It's
Yeah.
my little fur person. Yeah, she's the center of the universe. But it
And
was
it's also good when your animals have depression to find out that. I mean, you probably already are doing that yourself, but when you bring a second verification in of another person that gives you the same answer who has no idea. I mean,
mm,
often it's depression, they've been separated through death from an
yeah,
owner or a pack, other
yeah.
pack members, like you were saying, you don't know their past.
You
I mean,
don't?
I know they grieve. I've seen it with my own eyes. They
Mhm.
grieve.
They do. They do.
And
I've
you
seen that.
can't.
It's very difficult. The dynamics, the
Mhm.
dynamics change
Yeah.
completely. I've seen it with, one of our cats who passed very suddenly, and the other cat would not leave the spot where that cat passed for almost a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
It was just like,
And
oh,
there's
heartbreaking.
there's stories of animals that will sit at someone's grave or sit in their old chair and just, they won't leave.
Yeah. No, it's
That
true.
makes me cry, yeah.
It does, it's very sad. It's very sad, yet they're able to see. There are these intuitive beings that can
Mhm.
easily see. You see videos of animals all the time, they just watch.
That's what
Somebody's playing
that's what we're supposed to do. That's a great example. When things get rough, you need to just step back and do what animals do. I'm telling you, I have learned so many important life lessons from observing animals. They
Yes.
are the greatest teachers of my entire life.
Mhm.
They
I
watch. They just sit back and they watch and they're quiet and they listen to everything. That's why they're the keeper of the secrets.
yeah, it's kinda eerie in a sense when they just watch you moving
Yeah,
around.
be like
Like,
the animals for
yeah,
sure.
be the observers. Mark is sharing that he goes, "Cats," he does cat rescue, because "Cats have put their paws on different parts of my body that needed urgent medical attention before anyone else knew. I learned over the years when to go to the hospital." Amazing
Yeah.
creatures, just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that love connection that they have with us, your cat. I mean, they're watching out for you. They're concerned. I,
Yes.
I think that love connection also even makes it more, you're more merged with them where they sense
Yes.
things.
Wayne says, "Well, based on this talk, I need to be hibernating until sometime in April."
Me too.
I mean, we are. We're mammals, shouldn't we be?
That's great. Yeah, that's good advice. I'll take that advice. I should be hibernating. I've been so busy, letting life just carry me away. And I feel
Yeah.
like I would love to hibernate. I
Yes.
guess is that called a media fast or something like that? Maybe I should just next time I go into the church or speak on it, I'm going to say everyone needs to hibernate.
Yeah,
Holy
what? At least 2
hibernation.
months. There's a reunion. Get
Def-
me a
definitely.
2-month hibernation deal.
Yeah, because they always say you need to fast. You need to
Yeah,
fast and
yeah.
pray. And I'm going to say, no, you need to hibernate and pray.
That's right. You do your best praying in your hibernation state. Your
That's right.
subconscious opens up and you're
Honestly.
right there. Yeah. Referring back to said little chocolate dog of mine, she goes, "That brown dog gave me the gangster style head nod when I was looking at her for too long." It was one of those like this. Yeah. So it's so amazing. I was at the botanical gardens the other night, noticed the behavior of the geese. This one was standing completely still, guarding the others while they ate. I thought it was fascinating.
Dogs do that when they go to the bathroom. So if you have to take two or three dogs out to use the restroom, which is in nature,
Yeah.
they will never leave they will never leave until the last one is they'll watch until everybody's done business and then
Yeah.
they'll come in. Normally you would think they would all just go back to the house or go
Yeah.
back for the treats or whatever, but they
Mm.
will not leave that last one and they watch. And that dog will face them as they
Yeah.
do
Do
their
their business. Yeah.
bathroom things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll face the other dogs, which are sitting, waiting, watching, or they'll face you. People say they spin around and then they always point north or something like that, but they'll always,
I
I
figure they
know.
go to they're comfortable. That's yeah.
The fascinating details of
Yeah.
dogs, the magnetic aspect of their brains, like birds flying. I
Yes.
mean, I have heard that, but they'll always face you for safety. Like the
Huh.
geese watching everybody eating. There's
Yeah.
always one shepherd, one watchdog, one
Mhm.
sheepdog,
Mhm.
so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. They're fascinating animals for sure. When it says there was a case where a woman's cat growled at her, then jumped up on her, started biting at her neck. She went to the hospital, and during the exam, the doctor
Oh,
discovered
wow.
cancer. Yeah.
Yeah, wow, Wayne.
So the cat knew.
The cat knew. They do
Yeah.
know.
I think so as well. I think they're just people will even say, "There's activity in the house, something's going on." I'm like, "Do you have a pet?" Follow their lead. They will always lead
They
you.
they do sense evil.
Mhm.
They can see what you can't, especially cats. But I also have a dog that just did that recently,
Mhm.
with an experience that happened where she just startled and shied, and there was no reason for it. I mean, it's a
Mhm.
long story. You do have to go to my channel. It was called the failed shapeshifter
Oh,
video. But yeah, something came near the house that was an entity and she sensed it. I didn't, but she was like this. And this is the one that goes after everybody. You know, you open the front
yeah.
door at night. If there's somebody out there, they're not going to be very well after that.
Mhm. Yeah. No,
She'll
that's
go after 'em, but they do sense the unseen entities, especially, that wish you harm.
mhm. There are ghost researchers. I'm on the fence with this, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but who bring dogs on paranormal investigations. And I don't know that I I like that idea because I look at animals also. If you're not telepathic, they're the ones that can't speak for themselves. So if something
Right.
attaches to them or something goes on, or any animal really, they can't tell you, I'm in trouble, you know?
Yeah, no, and I'm sure they didn't like going on the paranormal show either. The last thing a dog wants to be, I mean, it's just counterintuitive to be in a place where there's something that's predatory. I will say this though, in the liberation ministry, the exorcism ministry of the Catholic Church, what we do know is one of the first questions that people like to answer is, do you have small children in the house? If you're fighting evil, right? Do you have small children in the house? Well, no. Do you have a spouse? Well, no. Do you have pets? Well, no. Okay, good. Because the devil will attack anything around you. If he can't get to you, he's going to start attacking those you love and care for. And
Most
pets
vulnerable.
are often the first target.
Yes.
I've seen it.
Yes.
So, no,
Yeah.
that's not a good thing to do to them because, there's a whole authority structure and things like that. But
Mhm.
I would never bring my dog I would never bring anybody, dog or human, into a
Mhm.
place that I thought was infested with evil.
Mhm. No, so true. So true.
And a lot of the
Um,
ghost hunter locations are like an old abandoned asylum. Oh, how fun. Let's go to the old abandoned asylum. I'm like,
and you get a lot of
why?
mixed. Here's what I don't think people understand, and I'm sure there are some that do, and there's some, that maybe need to consider. It's not just a blend of mixed energies. People who may be stuck there, who were not of sound mind in life, may not necessarily be in sound mind in spirit form if they're stuck,
Hey, they might not even be people. They might be impersonating those people.
The mimics.
An
And
evil entity, a demon or a fallen
well,
angel impersonating a person,
Well,
like
plus those
predatory.
type of people again with who were not of sound mind or who were troubled would often be the ones with the bullseye on their back.
Oh,
Easy
oh,
prey,
right. Oh, I
right?
see what you're saying.
Yes,
Right.
like easy
I
prey
see what you're
as
saying.
well. So, you know,
Yeah.
these places tend to be littered with a lot of really
Mm.
negative stuff and you know,
What a what a
it's
weird time we live in.
yeah. Oh, well, because
Thank
media
goodness we
feeds
have
that.
animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness we have animals. They're very logical. They
They
ground
guide
us.
us they guide us through quite a bit, that's for sure.
That's their
Women
job.
women say Wayne says, "Animals like me because they sense they're simple and need as much help as I can get."
I like this guy.
Oh, he's a character. Heidi says, "I often wonder why Paws, who's her cat, will slap me
Aw.
when I'm crying. I know there's a lesson in
Aw.
there, maybe to pause and process those uncomfortable feels."
Maybe playing. You know how cats will play like that? Maybe she's trying to cheer you up to get you to play. I don't know.
Dexter doesn't do that with
They're
me.
so
He'll be
sweet.
pat me, then he'll smack me. I'm just like, "It's just not right."
Yeah, I take care of my neighbor's 3 cats. They named them after their deceased parents, Lester, Ted, and Janice, these 3 cats. And they're like dogs. When I arrive to feed them twice a day, they're like coming to the door and following me around and talking to me with the tails. Like they have a tail language. Have you
Yes.
noticed that with cats? They talk with their tails.
Mhm. They're
It's a
funny.
whole language. So do dogs. I mean, when a dog's tail is winding, that's like, "I love you." It always seems to be that greeting where the tail winds. They have a whole language that we miss out with tails, cats and dogs.
No,
Different, of
you're
course.
not wrong. You're not wrong. The cat struts around this house with his tail straight up. I'm the man. This is
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Yeah, or they
Feed
do
me.
or they have that
Mm,
kind of
swagger. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
They're
sometimes
hilarious.
they do that like a like a double jerk of the tail, like teet teet. I don't know what that means, but
I definitely I definitely don't know,
you
but
know what I'm
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. One of
And
our
then the poor
chihuahuas is constant, like a little,
oh
what is this
gosh.
constant,
I'm innocent. I'm innocent. Don't
not innocent, not innocent. Naughty, very naughty.
Yeah, they bring us such joy.
She goes, "Yeah, I feel him thinking about it, maybe even telling me just to knock it off and regroup, get it together." Yeah. Sometimes the cats don't have it together either, though. They're like, you know,
No.
they're the ones that are, I don't know,
So,
a little
there
too
was one
conniving.
more thing. There's one more thing that I wanted to say. Never allow animals to suffer. A lot of people really struggle with the euthanasia.
Mm,
They're in grief,
mhm.
and we all like to wait until there's absolutely no hope, but then we still feel guilty about it. But never allow an animal to suffer means never allow an animal to suffer. And if there is no hope and they are suffering, there's nothing you can do. You are doing something so sacred, and this is your job to allow them a good death, which is what euthanasia translates into. It's a lot different for people. That's murder.
Mm.
You're helping people murder themselves. And I
Yes.
can't speak to that. I can't speak or judge on that. I'm just saying by definition. But with animals, a lot of people struggle with euthanasia. And I just want to say I struggle with it too. But
Mm,
I think they were ready and they told me, both of them, with their eyes. They died a month apart. They couldn't walk. And they got to a point where they couldn't stand up. And I could see the horror, when they would have an accident or whatever. But they tell you with their eyes, they're saying, yes, yes, it's time. Because I think they know God, the keepers of the secrets, they can't speak. And when I told you the jaguar story, I think God tells them where they're going to go, what's going to happen. And that's why they say goodbye or they distance or whatever. But they want your help. I just want to say, don't struggle with that when it gets to that point. You
I
are an
think
instrument of God at that point.
yeah,
That you have authority over them, in the cosmic hierarchy. There is a cosmic hierarchy, and they're in your care.
it's
So
hard for people, I think, to let go of
it
that
is
that
so
physical.
hard.
It's because for many people, it's like letting go of your child.
It is, but it's different because, like I said, with the fall of the animals, it's such a
Yeah.
bittersweet story, but it's the only one that makes sense in Genesis. It's the only book. I
Mm,
didn't even find it in Enoch. That was a proper way to say it. But when I
mhm,
read that in Genesis, it was like, this makes 100%, even if you look at it as metaphor. We have authority over them,
mhm.
and they look to us for care. So I struggle too, but I really say this to everybody. I have also seen human beings that want to wait and let the dog die naturally, like Christians don't do euthanasia with humans. So they
Mm,
apply it to their pet, and the pet
mhm.
lays in the bed in the garage suffering.
This is
So,
wrong. That's
so I
wrong.
just wanted to put that out there because some people might come and listen to this for that information as well.
Wayne says when Pixie, Chihuahua, was struggling, I had told her, "When you've had enough, you tell me, and I'll help you get home." And I was
Yeah.
making breakfast one morning, and I heard in my mind, basically, because I heard, "I'm tired, Dad."
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was a struggle. That was a real struggle
Yeah.
with her, but, I said, "We've always said, you fight, we fight. You stop, we know." And then that was just like an agreement. They were very much aware of that. And my little chocolate one, when I went to get her, from the vets, basically, I said, she waited for me because she was not doing well. And, they wanted to just at that point, and I said, "I'll bring her back tomorrow. I want the family to say goodbye." And she right within 5 minutes of being in my arms, she just passed away in my arms, and that I was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
Yeah, she
that
waited.
that's that's funny because they, like I said, they know. I know with my big pit bull Horace, my animal soulmate,
Yeah.
the day he died, I told you he couldn't get up and he was horrified. But
Mhm.
when the vet came, because I was out, I had him come to the house. He
Mm.
said he wouldn't have made it through the afternoon after he listened to his heart. He was already going
Yes.
on his own.
Yes.
So it actually was a beautiful experience in the end because it was so peaceful.
Mhm.
And I felt his spirit leave his body. And, my neighbors, God bless them, um, my best friend's husband got the excavator and went out onto a enormous ranch that I live on the edge of, and we buried him. And so he has like a cairn, a stone cairn, way out on the ranch where he used to run and I would hike. And then they left me alone there. He covered it up, took the excavator back a couple of miles back to the house. And I remember the sun was going down and I looked up on the hill and I said, if you can just show yourself to me, give me a sign that I'm here, just, are you okay? Are you feeling okay? And it's funny because I didn't see anything, but I got home and suddenly something came into my head. Sunday, day of rest. And I knew he was at rest, meaning he was good. He was okay. He was out there. He was just finally getting a rest because
Yeah.
old age had just taken it out of him. Old age, just getting up to go to the bathroom or to eat food. It was such a struggle.
Yeah.
So
They're
we
like
get these signs and
they're like people, right?
yeah, but they're
People,
always
diseases,
communicating.
people age. Yes, smarter than people in that aspect.
Yeah,
You know.
I've got one under my feet right now.
Oh,
Again, I told you the story of what happened on my channel. I'm going to share it with your viewers in a very good way. So my puppy that you saw jumping on me sleeps under my desk, and he'll have dreams while I'm recording or I'm on a show. And on one recording, he made a noise like this. He went, "Ooh," and it sounded just like
little passing wind.
passing wind, and I immediately go, "Oh, that was my puppy, that he's screaming under
Not
my
me.
desk." And
It's
it was
not me.
God's truth. I swear to God. I swear to God, it's God's
It
truth.
wasn't me.
And
It's the old
a
cliche, the dog did it.
my editor, Jess, just was on the floor laughing. I mean, it was like, what do you say? I mean, that's a viral video when that happens, but you know what? My audience was so respectful. Nobody said a thing.
Everybody just kind of goes,
It sounded exactly, I mean, it was like, "Ooh," like that, and it
and you were stuck with it. It's like, oh my
yeah.
God,
So
that's so
animals,
funny.
they bring us joy, they make us laugh, they bring so much love into our lives,
And they
just
humble you.
silliness, just silliness, you
Yes,
know? Every
yes.
time I tell that story to someone, everybody's spiritual gold, they just raise up out of base consciousness when they're grumpy. You just see them smile.
It was the best. Yes.
It was the best. That was Jeff. She's my
Yeah. See, totally.
yeah, she's on the channel. If you want to go and watch some of our work, it's Pipples of the Lord Spiritual Warfare channel, just us editing.
I have all of your links in the show description as well.
Yeah.
And I want to put up the book here. One second. I want everybody to see this as well. And the write-up for this is in the show description, as well as the link to Amazon to be able to purchase it. And then we will do
Yeah,
this.
you can read it in about an hour. I do have a free version you can listen to that takes about an hour in my podcast lineup and at Pipples of the Lord Spiritual Warfare channel. The reason I put it up that you can buy it is you can give it as a gift to someone who's mourning, and it will help them. That's why I wrote it.
Aw, I think this is a really great time of year also for people who have lost their fur
Yeah.
children.
But there
Um,
is a free version if you want to go listen. It's in my channel lineup under the title.
ah, there we
Yeah.
go, everybody. There we go. Um, Wayne was saying, I had a baby squirrel come running to me
Oh,
after his mother was hit by a car. He climbed up my leg, sat on my shoulder. He was so small. He came home with me and lived with me for 2 years. His name was
oh,
Chestnut. Yes.
Chestnut. I had one as a child named Nut Nut.
Aw.
Chestnut and Nut Nut.
Nut. Yep, said he would come and visit for 2 years after that. He's
How
got great
cute.
stories of Chestnut. Yeah, it's just
How,
funny.
oh my gosh, that's wonderful. You should start a channel about Chestnut.
probably do really well.
Yeah.
I also had a female possum that was coming by to eat peanuts I left for the blue jays. After time, she would take them from my hand. The next following spring, she brought her
Yeah.
baby to see me and eat. It was so touched.
Oh, that's so nice. I had a squirrel named Grandpa. And the reason I called him Grandpa is because he was really big and really old. That was my dog. Okay. And my dogs are sneezing.
Yeah.
I had one. I called Grandpa, and he would come and take food from my hand. He had one ear because he would get in fights with all the female squirrels over
Oh,
the food, and he had one ear, and so I always recognized him. But yeah, I had a raccoon that decided to come visit, and yeah, she was going to come in the house. Just
oh,
she was going to take over the
you're
whole house. So
sassy.
yeah,
Yeah.
so once the puppy came, she pretty much disappeared.
Yeah. Aw, I guess so.
Because the puppy's enormous.
Exactly, for a puppy and clumsy. They grow into their
Mhm.
paws and they fumble, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's good to commune with your squirrel sisterhood. Oh, yeah, this is sisterhood, that's right.
See, the
Patty's got
secret
squirrels also.
squirrel.
Yes, the sisterhood.
The secret squirrel sisterhood.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's 5 level chess. Secret squirrel sisterhood. Sounds very
Oh,
occulty.
we've got a great chat. So what would you like? We have 10 minutes. Is there anything you want
We
to ask?
do?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I was wondering. I was thinking, oh, we only had an hour, but I guess we have
Now
more
we're
than
it's
an hour.
90 minutes, and technically there's nobody on after me, so I can go as long as I want.
So hey, if anybody wants a good cry right now,
Oh,
there's an opening in my book. It's a poem, and it's called "What a Dog Says." I'm going to hear it.
yes, that would be lovely.
So it's about the last moment. I say, I will be alone. You say, I am always with you. I say, I am afraid. You say, you're meaner than a wolf or two. I say, I won't make it without you. You say, you must. I say, it's not time. You say, to trust. I say no, you say yes, but you say it with your eyes. I say, what do you see? You say, I can see them. I can see the angels as they fly. I say, I can't hear what you hear, see what you see. You say, it's just the way it is simply meant to be. You say, they are singing home, home, home. And you howl, calling out to the divine. I say, come closer and rest your head on mine. And then you look up to gaze at me, and you close your eyes for the very last time. With tears and a prayer, I say I will never make it through. And from a great distance, I hear your thoughts from the heart. Don't worry, again I will see you. I am with you always, always. I am with you.
I'm teary-eyed. Mission accomplished.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
it's
one
beautiful.
sentence just gets me. Rest your head on mine and you look up to me, close your eyes for the very last time. That just, I can never make it through that sentence.
No, no.
Ever.
No, I could see why. It's just sort of putting yourself back in that
Yeah.
time and space.
Yeah.
You never forget a moment when, like you say, how many pets go off, or animals in general go off on
Mhm.
their own to
They know.
pass in those last moments. To have one stay, like when her name was PETA, but when she I know. PETA waited
PETA.
for me and died in my arms, and it was just like it's like I wasn't having it. By right, she
Yeah.
should have passed 6 times before that, and I didn't. I
Mhm.
took that from her, right? So that's sort of my karma with that, but we love them so much and so hard, and the fact that they would wait for you and give you, is it a gift or isn't? Some people might go, it's not a gift. I would not want to see that. I lost my pet. But for me, I knew she would
Yeah.
transition safely in my arms.
There's a price we pay to love them.
Mm.
Because did you ever see the movie, that old movie Highlander, where he's an immortal and
Yes, many times. Yeah.
he outlives everything that he loves.
Yes.
His pets, his horse, his wife, he
Yes.
can't have children. Um,
Mm.
and I often feel like I'm the immortal and I am suffering through generation after generation of loss throughout, I'm almost 70. So
Yeah.
I've had animals and I feel like an immortal, I can see their future. I know they're going to go 10, 12, 15 years at the most.
Mhm.
And I know when the time is coming and the price we pay for loving them is high, but
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
love them, I mean, so many people have no love in their lives at all.
It's true.
And this is God's way of saying, I love you. Love them for me, and they will love you for me. God can't come down and hug you or lick your face or wig,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he gives us these domestic animals and
Yes.
they do. They love us unconditionally. So
Mhm.
yeah, there is a high price to pay, but that's love. That's the price for loving.
It's why we keep putting ourselves back there. I have people, it's
Mhm.
like, I've said, "No, I will never do this again. I will never do this again." And it's just like,
Yep.
but you're missing out on so much. They're so
And
rewarding rescuing and
and what is the cure? When you lose an old love, the cure is a new love. And
yes,
that again is the continuity, the unconditional love. There is always love in your life.
yes,
Always. When people
yeah,
say, I don't have anybody. But
yeah.
like I said, unconditional love, God has made it a fail-safe where we always have someone. And that was the mystery of domestication.
Yes. Yeah, a gift indeed, a gift indeed, without a doubt. I think that's probably I mean, this world is full of gifts. We come here with so many gifts
Yeah.
bestowed upon us, but there's nothing like having that little intuitive bundle of fur or
Mhm.
130-pound bundle of fur.
Yeah. Yeah.
Likes to humble you while you're on, there's there's nothing like that kind of love. It's unconditional. They're so loyal. They're intuitive. They're protectors. They're your confidant. They're your best friends. They're your child. They're your family. It's. I mean, the
They're God
list
in a
goes on.
nutshell. God, dog spelled backwards is God.
Yeah.
It's like a hat tip.
Yes. Funny how that
Yeah.
works, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the synchronicity. It's the language of the birds. It's
Yeah.
the Adamic language. Again,
Yeah.
it is meant to be. They are divine creatures created by God.
Yeah.
Yes, we're sublime. Yes, we're humans. We're all narcissists to think that way because God loves all his creatures. But I'll go
Yes.
along with it. Yeah,
There's a reason that Noah had to save the animals.
there it is. There it is. Thank you. I wish I would have said that.
I'm
That's why
just
you
saying.
are you. That's why you're the hostess.
Yeah. It's my job to
Dang
think of those
it.
things, but no,
That
seriously.
that is your job. I'm not kidding. Why didn't I think of that? I should have put it in the book. But that's why he did save the animals. Dang
Yeah.
it.
That's right. They're important too. Yeah. So what do you have coming up? Do you have any, special do you have any more shows coming up?
I
Another book? What do you have?
No, I have absolutely nothing and I have zero presence on social media. I just have my channel every Monday and Friday. I put out a new video
Yeah.
and sometimes we do a live. If you ever want to come on a show, I'd love to
Yes.
have you.
Yes,
Talk
I'd
about
love
some of
to.
your experiences.
Yeah, I'd love
And
to.
sometimes we do a live video here and there, and we do a members only. Sometimes it's a
Mhm.
little more in the preternatural sciences that
Yeah.
it gives the members something special. But
Yeah.
normally it's just Monday and Friday
Yeah.
videos,
I love
and
it.
nobody comes on my show. Very rarely. I had one lovely guest, Jocelyn Gretian,
Mm.
and it was wonderful. But there's very few people that I think would come on my show because
I would come on your show, Ira. I
As a
think you're
Catholic
delightful.
person, I'm a little heretical for some people,
Yeah.
maybe.
You know what?
Well,
The way
good.
I
Well,
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to.
Yeah.
I have had, I love having you on. I'm glad you're returning, and I would love to keep having you on because I find you absolutely beautiful, whimsical from the inside out, and a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, well, glory to God. I'm not
I know.
anybody.
Oh shucks, here I am.
I am so not. But every time I come on, people get a glimpse of a train wreck. When my dog jumps in my lap, that's worth tuning in for right there.
But it's worth it. Right, for the same thing. As I was saying to you, and I'm sure that people in chat room could attest to this. I shall, Jess, I shall. Is that, you know, we have guests, and all of a sudden you see a cat walk behind them on the chair or over the desk, or a dog just going around the back and
climbing the curtain behind you, like,
exactly.
oh, look, what's the cat doing?
Or a little bark, I'm here, and you see them freeze. They're like this.
Mhm.
I'm like, it's okay. We don't mind the critters
I
having
know.
a few minutes. So, yeah, it goes, we love Aquina. Is it Aquina or Aquina?
Aquinas, yeah,
Aquinas,
Saint Aquinas.
Sophie, yeah, and the Ira combo. Say, there we go. Bring in the troops, was what I say. But
Yeah, I think Sophie's behind me somewhere.
yeah,
She's sacked out behind me.
Aw.
I don't know.
Oh, I can see that
She
little
would
jacket
be.
there.
I think
Aw.
Can you see her?
Yep.
You see the blue
yes.
jacket?
There she is.
Sophie. Sophie.
It's like I'm hibernating.
Hey, wake up, Sophie. No, she's hibernating.
She's
Okay,
hibernating. She
come
gets
here,
to
over
do
here.
that.
Come on up. Come on. Get in the
Aw.
chair. Come on. Oh, no, he's gonna.
Because I'm going to go bug Sophie now because she's not allowed to hibernate without me. So,
like, I'm not important at this point. We'll just,
No.
finale will just be dog watching. Can't see him.
There we go.
There.
Aw. Yep, gonna wake you up. It's time.
No, I'm in the way.
No.
I gotta get a second camera that I can switch to.
Okay, get a pet cam in the back.
That's what I need, like on the back of my shoulder or something, like a camera. I can just
we'll put a reverse headgear on you so you
smash.
can
Yeah, smash cut dog camera.
That's
No.
I think that would work. That would sell. Oh
I know right now Jess is on the floor laughing somewhere in her group.
I know, it's so funny. I love it. You're always in good company here. I could tell you that. And I do thank you for coming on again.
No,
I always have so much fun when you're here. Aww.
It was an honor. No, I told Jess the other day, I said, this is one of my favorite people. I like going on her show because you're just so kind, and I always have a great experience on your shows.
Aw, thank you. I love that you're on. And I think next time you're coming on the Outer Realm, the big, like the night show. And
I can't remember, but it's somewhere on the calendar.
We can. Let me refresh.
But you're really good at reminding. But sure.
I am. It's January 29th.
Okay, then make sure you tell me this show is 2 hours long, so I'll come with more material.
It's not anywhere from 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
So it's fine. Yeah, you get to decide, but it'll be at least 90 minutes. So and the time just flies by. And we also have an amazing chat room again.
Let's talk about UFOs and the fallen angel realm.
That's what we're talking about. That's what we have. And then I'll have to book you to come back and maybe do a cryptid show or something. It'd be fun.
Yeah, those are always fun too.
They are.
Everyone gets upset because I always go, well, sorry, it's a fallen angel.
Oh, yeah. People are going to be like, what? What the hell?
Yeah. It's okay. I'm used to it.
That's okay.
But thankfully now it's coming into the zeitgeist. It's coming into the zeitgeist where it's not such an odd thing to say anymore. It used to be, not anymore.
There's many different perspectives, and it's always interesting to hear them because there's just like we had someone on one of the other shows last night, and it was total DNA related. I've never heard that side of things. It's just like, wow.
It never shows the father's DNA though.
Yeah.
And it's the same in everything. All the things where they try to get DNA, it shows the mother. It doesn't show the father. There is no father.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, there's no human father DNA in the data bank, put it that way.
Yeah. It's
All the
interesting.
chimera stuff going on, all of that. It's
The
fascinating. It's
uh,
fascinating, but for me, it's just the fallen angel realm. It's so easy
yeah.
to explain. And
Yeah.
you can it's like people who watch Ancient Aliens, the old TV series,
Mhm.
they could just take out Ancient Aliens and put in fallen angels and you got L.A. Marzulli. It's like
LA
people
will
can
tell you
remove
straight up. Yeah.
right. People can just
Yeah.
take one thing out and drop it in.
Mhm.
It's still a great show. It's still a great conversation,
Mhm.
pondering these
Yeah.
things
LA
and
was on once. Yeah.
understanding
Yeah.
the preternatural or the metaphysical realm
Mhm.
that we exist in. So, people
Yeah.
shouldn't get offended. They should just not throw the baby out with the bathwater and just see it from their
Mm.
wheelhouse.
There's a lot of different perspectives, and because there's nothing super definitive. I mean, it's not like we're going to find all the answers in one lifetime, I'm sure. And it's what keeps everybody. For me, it's research.
Mhm.
It's what keeps it interesting. Keep looking.
Yeah, know thy enemy.
Yeah, right. So, everybody in chat room, you guys are always awesome, and I thank you so much. Old faces, new faces. I always say you are part of my chat family, and we love it just and appreciate you all. Wednesday night, tomorrow in the Outer Realm. Speaking of, Jason Hewlett returns to talk about his new documentary with Small Town Monsters, Sasquatch Legacy up in Canada. Woods out there, crazy stuff out there is all I'm going to say. And Thursday welcomes back Elsa Dillon talking about past lives, prophecies, oversoul. Just she's got a whole list of things. So we're going to touch on some of that as well. So until then, enjoy the rest of your afternoons. And for Mark on the other side of the world, thank you. It's nice and early for you for a change. The other show is like
Yeah.
2 a.m. and Mark's barely hanging on, but he's there. So
Yeah.
we appreciate you all so much. And Ira, I adore you.
Oh, God bless you and all your viewers. I'm so happy to be here. I always enjoy myself on your show.
Thank
Thank you.
you. And I'm looking forward to our next segment for sure.
Okay.
So we're ringing the new year with that.
Okay.
So,
All right.
all
Good
right.
deal.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you all. Good afternoon. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow evening.
Good night.